Hello and welcome to a very exciting video. So I've been really excited about doing this video because one, it gives me an opportunity to paint a miniature, and two, it gives me an opportunity to show off the paints, as you can see in the background, that I use, and the paints that, to be honest, I absolutely love these paints to bits. They are fantastic. And three, it gives me a chance to actually push myself out of my comfort zone of painting. So today I am going to be painting Iron Warriors on this Chaos Space Marine, and basically what I'm going to be attempting to do anyways is I'm going to attempt to do non-metallic metal color scheme. Now, I've never done it before, I've never practiced, so this is going to be a practice, and I do feel it's quite ballsy of me to do it as a first time video as well for YouTube, but I thought, you know what, why not? It gives me an opportunity to show off my paints, and also, it gives me an opportunity to sort of practice doing non-metallic metal, but also at the same time showing, for a beginner anyways, what to expect, I suppose. So it's a sort of learning experience. Anyways, what I will be doing is I will be sort of popping in and out of this video every so often to talk, and I'll also try and remember to post the names of the paints and stuff that I've been using throughout this video. I want to say lesson, but it's not really a lesson because I'm also learning myself. So I suppose it's a learn with me. It's a let's do this non-metallic metal business. Let's do it together. Let's just do this. Let's get into this and have fun. So I'm going to start off by painting this dude, and he is going to look hopefully awesome by the end of it. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I am one of those people that takes out more paints than is actually required, but I always view it's better to have more than less. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type up all the different paints that we have, because some of them I can't even pronounce, and I'm going to totally butcher it. But all I want to say is these are all scale 75 paints that I'm going to use. Here's some advice I can give you, and to be honest, it helped me a bit as well when it came to understanding NMM painting, and that is looking up tutorials and reference images. Shows like Game of Thrones or films like Lord of the Rings are great because of the various weapons, armor, and clothing that they use in those films. If you think about it, if a character turns in a certain direction in one of those films or shows, then the light reflects differently on their clothing or armor or sword that they're wielding or using at the time. And it's fantastic because in that way, you've got a great reference there for you, so that you can think to yourself, right, that's how the sunlight interacts in that angle, and that's how that side looks in the shadows. So definitely references, I would say, do help, and that's the best advice I can give when it comes to dealing with non-metallic metal color schemes. So at this point I have applied the first few coats, and now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to figure out where the armor will be at its brightest so that I can begin highlighting that area and adding lighter tones of grey to white on the armour. So looking at the shoulder pauldron on this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more emphasis on one area, and the bit that's more towards his backpack isn't going to be as lit up as the bit that I'm just currently focusing on right now. So as I continue to add more layers to this miniature of grey and stuff, I couldn't help but think to myself about how awesome it actually started to look with all the different layers of grey. And what I was thinking to myself was back to when I painted the pre-Heresy Space Wolves. Now this was a long time ago from the old 30k kit that I got, the Burning of Prospero, and they were more grey back then in the Horus Heresy era rather than what they are now, which is a sort of bluey grey colour. But I also couldn't help but think to myself as well that this paint scheme would be okay to use on like Black Legion, Black Templars as well, because even though their armour is black, there would be areas where it'd be more sort of grey with the sunlight sort of reflecting off of them, if you get what I mean anyways. But yeah, I'm just going to continue now adding more sort of layers and stuff. So I'm just going to continue adding different sort of shades of grey and stuff. The one thing that I do remember Ninjon said was to make sure that you added black to every single layer that you continue to sort of build up on. So you want to keep it kind of saturated at the same time, if that makes sense. Okay, so at this point, unfortunately, my phone needed charged, and that's what I'm using to record. So I had to continue painting without recording that part. Basically, what I've done is I've went off and added the highlights to the armor now to try and make it seem more metallic, and it kind of works, but as you can see from this part, I've started on the bronze areas, and I also went off and done the gun, and I actually like the gun. I like the gun a lot. Like, I like how it looks. I like the kind of the scheme that I went for, how the metallic sort of works in a way. But as for the sort of the gold trim, the gold is really, I found it really challenging to do actually, and it's something that I would like to practice more. And I feel that the best miniatures to practice gold or non-metallic metal colours on are actually Stormcast Eternals for some reason. The amount of practice miniatures that I've seen people do for non-metallic metal on Stormcast Eternals, it seems to work really well on them, and I think it's because they've got some raised areas, quite a bit of flat surfaces I've noticed as well. They're not as detailed as Chaos Space Marines are. Like, Chaos Space Marines love their sticky out spears, spiky bits and all that, and their iconography and all that, and their chains and everything. So at the end of the day, this guy was quite a challenge because he did have a lot of detail and stuff to do. But I think the next time I practice on doing non-metallic metal, it's going to be on a Stormcast Eternal. At this point, I've made a few mistakes, but that's okay. I knew this would not be perfect. The key, however, is that you learn from those mistakes. And my mistakes that I've made is definitely the metal work. It could have done with a lot more work, and the gold itself as well. So the gold doesn't look like gold. It looks more like a rusty sort of brass colour. And what I've done is I've just went in with a bright yellow. And that unfortunately doesn't work. It just doesn't look like metal. And what you'll see at the end is the photos that I've taken of this miniature after I finished it off. And you'll see what I mean at the end about the gold. But at the end of the day, I've had a lot of fun painting this miniature, and I've had a lot of fun challenging myself. And the one thing that I did when I went into sort of starting this video and painting this miniature up was I said to myself, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be great at this. This is not going to be amazing. This is not going to be my best piece of work. But I can learn from this, and I'm practicing. I'm still learning. And hopefully at some point in the future, I'll be able to do another video of me doing non-metallic metal, and I'll actually be good at it. That's what one of my key hopes is. So at the end of the day, all you can do is just keep practicing. That's the best bit of advice I can give to anyone who's wanting to try out this colour scheme. As we are just getting to the end of this video, I have added the yellow stripes to the gun just to sort of represent that Iron Warrior feel to it, and I've just started to add the red now to the lenses and to the various other areas that are going to be red as well. What I would like to say is that, you know, this has been a really fun process. Like, it's been fun doing this. I have really enjoyed making this video and, you know, getting the opportunity to show you guys me painting something which has, you know, pushed me out of my comfort zone. It's not something I ever imagined myself actually doing, but it has been a lot of fun, and that's the best thing you can take away from painting at the end of the day, is having fun. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to end this video with a couple of pictures of this miniature all finished up. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I look forward to doing my next video. So thank you for watching, and take care.